For most of human history, the map of our solar system had a hard, definite border. It ended at Neptune. Beyond the distant blue giant was just the void. A cold, dark, and empty expanse. But a few astronomers couldn't shake the feeling that something was hiding out there, a vast, unseen realm of frozen worlds. They called it a ghost world, and for years, that's all it was, a compelling idea. This is the story of two astronomers who launched a 5-year hunt to find it, a search that would completely redraw our map of the cosmos. The whole thing started with a simple question: where do comets come from? We're not talking about the ones that show up once in a million years, but the short-period comets, the ones that swing by every few decades or centuries. Astronomically speaking, they burn out so fast that there had to be a nearby reservoir, a sort of celestial bullpen, constantly feeding new ones into the inner solar system. Back in 1951, the astronomer Gerard Kuiper had a theory about this. He proposed that a disk of icy leftovers from the solar system's formation should exist out past Neptune. But here's the twist. He also figured that after billions of years, the gravitational stirring of the giant planets would have scattered most of it away. In other words, Kuiper actually predicted the region would be empty. So the idea was powerful, but for decades the ghost world remained a ghost. Then came David Jewett and Jane Liu. In 1987, the two astronomers decided they were going to be the ones to find it. They just didn't believe the outer solar system was empty, so they began what many of their peers considered a complete fool's errand. Their method was brutally simple and agonizingly slow. Using telescopes on the remote peak of Mauna Kea in Hawaii, they would take pictures of the same tiny patch of sky, hours apart, and then, by eye, search for anything that moved. Think about what they were looking for: a single, faint pinprick of light, inching its way across a backdrop of thousands of stars. It was a search for one of the slowest moving things you could possibly imagine. For 5 long years, they found nothing. Night after night, disappointment after disappointment. They were staring at static fields of stars, comparing images, finding absolutely nothing new. The digital cameras of the time had an incredibly narrow field of view, making the search feel like looking for a single, specific grain of sand on a massive beach through a drinking straw. Most people would have given up. It was 5 years of meticulous, thankless work with zero guarantee of success. And then, on the night of August 30th, 1992, it happened. While blinking back and forth between images taken with the University of Hawaii's 2.2-meter telescope, they saw it. A tiny dot, 6 million times fainter than the naked eye can see, had shifted its position, ever so slightly. After 5 years of nothing, there was something. They tracked it for the next 2 nights to confirm its slow, distant orbit. This wasn't some nearby asteroid. The object, which they provisionally named 1992 QB1, was over 1 billion kilometers beyond Neptune. In that moment, the ghost world became real. The Kuiper Belt was no longer just a theory. It was a place. That one tiny dot opened the floodgates. A few months later, they found a second object, then dozens, and today, thousands have been cataloged. We now know the Kuiper Belt is a massive, donut-shaped region of space, holding hundreds of thousands of icy worlds larger than 100 kilometers across. This hidden realm didn't just add a new chapter to our textbooks, it forced a complete rewrite. It gave us dwarf planets like Haumea, Makemake, and Eris, whose discoveries famously led to the reclassification of Pluto. It's home to Arrokoth, an incredible snowman-shaped object visited by the New Horizons spacecraft, which showed us that planets can form much more gently than we once thought. The Kuiper Belt is a pristine fossil site, preserving the building blocks of our solar system for 4.6 billion years, and giving us a direct window into our own origins. The story of 1992 QB1 is a powerful reminder that our universe is still brimming with secrets, just waiting for persistent people to uncover them. If you find stories of cosmic discovery that change the way we see ourselves as fascinating as we do, consider subscribing for more journeys to the edge of the unknown. The 5-year hunt was over, but the era of exploration it launched has only just begun. David Jewett and Jane Liu's relentless belief transformed a vast, dark emptiness into a richly populated, dynamic frontier. They reminded us that our solar system is bigger, weirder, and more wonderful than we ever imagined, and that sometimes the greatest discoveries are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to look and keep on looking. What other ghost worlds are still out there, waiting to be found?